We have James, who has somebody new filling his oil tank for the winter, and the serviceman suggested that he needs to have his tank inspected for safety. And James doesn't think there's a real problem. But he asked me the question, who inspects oil tanks? And came up that it was a tough question. And I started doing some research a little bit all over Canada. And I found that in most of Canada, the contractor, the heating contractor, will inspect the tank and is responsible for putting a green tag on the fill inlet. And only if there's a green tag will the guy with the tank, with the truck, actually fill it up. The reason for that is there have been cases where somebody's removed the tank but didn't remove the fill, and the truck came and emptied the truck in the basement. Bad thing. so in most of Canada, there has to be a green tag, and the green tag is put on by the heating contractor. In Quebec, they don't do that. Heating contractors do have a protocol for inspecting the tank, but only to see if they think the tank is good enough to install a furnace on it. Other than that, there is no inspection, and apparently nobody wants the liability of saying it's okay. So I'm going to lead you over. If you look at the links that are down under the video window, there's a link there to a place on my website that will show you that. But first of all, we're going to take a look at his tank. He has an extra special problem. Here's the bottom of the tank, and he has a little sort of patch welded on that was there the day he got there. Apparently there was a valve there that had been covered up by the manufacturer way back when, and so that was a bit of a strange thing to have down there. That's the patch, and it was well on, so that bothered him, but it looks good to me and it looks like it's no problem. So in terms of generally inspecting a tank, how do we go about doing that? Well, let's go take a look at the web and how to check if your furnace oil tank is safe. Look up tanks in the keyword section. You can see a rusty old one here on the outside that really needs some sort of inspection. It's in pretty bad shape. And if you come down, here's one of the most surprising things. Here's what you're really looking for, a little blister on the bottom someplace. And the blister is surprisingly caused by sediment on the inside, causing electrolytic reaction and rotting through from the inside out, which is surprising. It's full of oil. How could it rust? But it rusts through electrolytic reaction down there. And so you run your hand over it, and if there's a spot that is slightly blistered and colder, you can feel the difference. It means your tank's about ready to leak. And if you can't feel any difference in temperature and there's none of these little blisters down there, then it's probably in good shape. But that's about all we have in the way of great science for inspecting the oil tanks.